This is Vic Galloway on BBC Radio Scotland. God, you know I'm a professional because talking of sessions, I'm going to go straight to our session guest right now. Paul Leonard-Morgan is in the house. Hello.
He's so smooth.
I know, isn't it smooth? It's like I've been doing it for a few years or something. Anyway, great first track, Wilderness.
Thank you.
How did it feel from your end? Second time you've ever performed it in front of people?
Yeah, it's pretty in front of the big posse of people down here in the basement.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. But the millions of people listening is what I'm really talking about.
Obviously. No, it feels great. I've never done it with a string quartet before.
Oh, right.
There's not normally strings on that track. We just kind of thought, well, if we got this glamorous beast sitting in front of me down here, then we might as well kind of make the most of him.
Glamorous beast of a string quartet. I like that description. So, Paul, tell us a bit about how you sort of got into music and so on, because you're renowned for having done TV music for TV and film, and you've done lots of collaborations and so on. But I'm kind of interested in what music did you first start playing and listening to and so on?
What did I first start listening to? And when I came up to the Royal Scottish Academy of Music, so did a lot of classical music and stuff like that, but it never really tickled my boat, to be honest. I was more kind of really into bands and stuff like that. And I always loved the kind of Massive Attack stuff. And just loads of stuff with strings. And for me, my big kind of love is just the crossover when you've got beats and you've got strings going. I think you can get these really epic sounds going. So
did you obviously trained classically during your teens and your early years, but you were also sort of listening to contemporary stuff. You talk about Massive Attack and so on. There's definitely comparisons to what you're doing to those kind of producers. Do you see yourself more as a contemporary producer than a classical producer?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I've written obviously classical pieces and classical soundtracks. A lot of the time you've got great big orchestras. But for me, the real buzz, as I say, is joining the two together and actually kind of getting people that normally wouldn't have listened to classical music suddenly going, oh, that's brilliant. And you go, well, actually, that's not classical. That's just an orchestra. The fact that it's an orchestra doesn't make it classical, you know. And by the time you've got beats and guitars and samples and everything else going, I just like the cacophony of sounds, really.
Well, listen, it's very exciting. Filmtales is out now, which does exactly all those things that you're talking about. And does it feel like you've got your own band together now, then?
It does a bit. I mean, for the actual album, say we had a 70, 80-piece orchestra. But obviously there are other tracks when there's not this big orchestra, the collaborations with some of the artists that are on it. So it's not all this great big sounds, but it's nice, I think, having these musicians when you go off and play, whether it's live, and even when you've just got a vocalist in your studio, just the two of you together, the magic that sort of you create off each other, it's just a really big buzz.
Yeah, well, you've collaborated on the album with Isabel Campbell, we've discussed that. Esther's on there, Stephen Mason from the Beta Band.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, and Jenna G. Now, which track are you going to do for us now? Because we'll have some more chat later in the programme. We'll talk to you about some of your other collaborations.
Okay, this next track's called Snatcher, and it was originally taken from a soundtrack that I'd written. I won't tell you what it's about. It's incredibly depressing, but it's a beautiful film. And the track I just really liked, so I developed it into this.
Okay, well, it's Paul Leonard-Morgan live here on BBC Radio Scotland with Snatcher. Take it away. It's Paul Leonard-Morgan live in session here on BBC Radio Scotland. That was the second track tonight, Snatcher, and Paul will be back with his gang to do another track later on in the show, and we'll have some more chat as well.